The wind howled across the dusty trail as little Emily Grace, just 7 years old, stood shivering in a tattered coat 2 sizes too big. Her stepmother, Janine, didn't even glance back as she tossed the girl's backpack beside her and slammed the truck door. The red pickup rumbled away, leaving behind only exhaust and silence. "Don't wait for me. You're not my problem anymore," Janine had snapped before driving off. Emily bit her lower lip to stop the tears. Her daddy had died just 6 months ago in a logging accident, and since then, Janine had grown colder than the Wyoming winter. She tried to be brave, Daddy always told her to be brave, but now, she was alone with no one but the prairie wind for company. She sat on a fallen log and hugged her knees, the sky dimming above her. Coyotes howled in the distance. Fear began to crawl over her like ants. She looked around, hoping maybe Janine would turn around, but deep in her heart, she knew she wouldn't. Just before darkness swallowed the plains, a lone horse trotted along the ridge. The rider was Cole Bennett, a grizzled cowboy in his late 40s with sun-wrinkled skin and eyes that had seen too much pain. He wasn't looking for anyone, just riding to check on a sick calf at the edge of his property. But then he saw her. A small figure on the trail, hunched over, barely visible in the fading light. He tugged on his reins. "Whoa, buddy," he said to his horse, dismounting. As he approached, Emily backed away like a frightened deer. "It's okay, sweetheart," he said gently. "Name's Cole. You lost?" She stared at him, silent, her lips trembling. He crouched down to her level. "You look cold. Hungry too, I bet. You wanna come with me? Got soup on the stove and a soft bed." Her eyes filled with tears, and she nodded just once. Cole wrapped her in a warm wool blanket as she sipped hot chicken noodle soup inside his cabin, a modest but cozy ranch house filled with the smell of cedar and coffee. She barely spoke. Cole didn't push. He'd seen this kind of silence before, in wounded animals, in veterans, in himself. "What's your name?" he asked after a while. She whispered, "Emily Grace." He smiled gently. "Pretty name. You hungry for seconds, Emily Grace?" She nodded shyly. For the first time in weeks, she felt safe. There were no slamming doors, no cold stares, no shouting. Just the quiet clink of a spoon and the warmth of a crackling fire. As she dozed off on the old couch wrapped in that wool blanket, Cole sat in his recliner, eyes watching the fire. Something deep inside him stirred, something like hope, or maybe redemption. The next morning, Cole called the sheriff. He explained the situation, how he found the girl on the trail, no adult in sight. Sheriff Beckett, a longtime friend, nodded. Her stepmom, Janine. Known troublemaker. Married her daddy for the insurance, I heard. Can't prove it, though. You sure you want to get involved, Cole? Cole looked at Emily, who was petting his old hound, Boone. Ain't got much, Beckett, but I got enough for her. The sheriff studied him. You sure you're up for it? You've been alone a long time. Cole's voice cracked. Maybe it's time I stopped being alone. Janine reappeared 3 days later, banging on Cole's door. That girl's mine, she screeched. You got no right. Emily clung to Cole's leg, trembling. She was alone out there, Cole growled. You left her to die. I didn't leave her. Janine lied, her voice like nails on glass. She ran off. Sheriff Beckett intervened. We'll let the court decide. But you better believe we've got questions, Janine. She glared at Emily like she was a stain on her perfect life. Emily whimpered, and Cole stepped between them. In the days that followed, Emily started opening up. Cole taught her how to brush the horses, feed the chickens, and even ride a pony named Lily. He found her laughing one morning, face covered in flour as she tried to make biscuits. That laugh, it healed something broken in him. One night, Emily asked, Did you have a daughter? Cole hesitated, then nodded. Her name was Abby. She died in a car accident with her mama. Long time ago. Emily slipped her tiny hand into his. I think your Abby would have been a good big sister. Cole's eyes misted. Yeah, I think so too. The custody hearing was tense. Janine came dressed like a grieving angel. I love my stepdaughter, she sniffed. Emily looked terrified. When it was her turn, Cole knelt beside her. Just tell the truth, sugar. Emily, with her voice shaking, told the judge about the trail, the cold, and the long nights locked in a basement when Janine got angry. Janine screamed, she's lying. But the judge had heard enough. The judge ruled in Cole's favor, temporary custody, pending further evaluation. As they left the courthouse, Cole felt like a ton of bricks had lifted. You want to come home? He asked softly. Emily nodded. Home sounds nice. As summer approached, Emily began to shine. She read bedtime stories to Boone, raced Lily across the meadow, and helped Cole with chores. She still had nightmares sometimes. Cole would sit beside her bed and hum an old country lullaby. I'm not scared when you're here, she whispered one night. You never have to be alone again, Em, he said. One late August evening, a wildfire threatened the edge of Cole's property. The wind carried smoke and panic. Cole rushed to evacuate the animals while Emily helped gather essentials. As fire danced on the hilltops, they drove to town. Will our home burn? She asked. Cole took her hand. Homes can be rebuilt. But family, that's what matters. Months passed. The court granted Cole full custody. Emily was officially his. He took her to town hall, and they filled out the paperwork together. Emily Grace Bennett, she whispered, looking at her new last name. Cole grinned. Has a nice ring to it, doesn't it? On the anniversary of the day he found her, Cole and Emily rode horseback back to the very trail where it all began. Emily placed wildflowers where she had once sat alone. You think Daddy can see me now? She asked. I think he's mighty proud, Cole said, lifting her up onto the saddle. And so am I. They rode home together under the golden sun, two lost souls who had found each other on a lonely trail, and discovered love, family, and healing in the unlikeliest of places. The end. Heart can find its way, even on the loneliest trail.